leave him with you. You can ask him any questions, introduce yourself, but I'll be back at 20 past to collect him. All right. Okay, guys.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Peter. How are you?
Now recording.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. Difficult day, but yeah, I'm all right.
That's the way. Thanks for your time. My name's Alex, and my colleagues Sana
Hello.
and Jason.
Hello.
So yeah, we're here just to interview, mate. So how you been?
It's been a difficult couple of days. I'm quite tired. But it is what it is. So.
As I can imagine, yeah. Where are you from, mate?
My parents were from Germany, and I spent some time there when I was a child. Mostly here in Queensland.
Oh right, okay, nice. How's the weather up in Queensland?
It's as you can see, it's okay right now. Beautiful sunny Queensland. Last night it was pretty shit, but them's the breaks.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Have you been dealing with COVID and all that? Been all right, or it's pretty free up in Queensland?
Yeah. We don't really have any up here. The Premier, she locked down all the borders. It's like it's like East and West Germany all over again, but except perhaps for a better reason.
Oh wow! Do you follow any sport, mate, or soccer, or rugby league, or something like that? AFL? Do you follow anything like that?
I like my Formula One. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
Max Verstappen. He's my man, and it's been a good season. He's been right up there with Lewis Hamilton. Maybe he win the championship unless Bottas decides to go bowling again.
All right. What about Vettel? Don't you like Vettel?
Yeah, no, Vettel is very good. He's a nice guy. I think he got disqualified last race. It's very sad.
It is very sad. Anyway, do you have a drink of tea or coffee or water or anything, or orange juice for this interview? You got anything to make you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've got a coffee here. It's the machine stuff, but you're in MacArthur River. Pickers can't be choosers.
Exactly. All right. So look, we're here to investigate an incident that took place on last night on August 15 involving a Cape York aircraft. So we're really just doing a safety interview, and what in this safety interview we're going to be recording it and taking some notes. So if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the purpose of this safety interview is really just to obtain a timeline of events and to gain as much information as possible. We're really just simply trying to prevent an accident like this ever happening again. We're not looking for you for specifically looking for people at fault, and we're not looking for you to scrutinise your actions during the event. We're just looking for the facts of the events from your perspective. So we're really only about improving safety in the future. So we're not, your job's not at jeopardy. We're not looking to blame anyone. We're just looking for the facts. So I just want to reassure you that if you don't remember anything, or you can't remember anything, or you don't know, that's okay with us. It's totally fine. So don't stress about that. If you need to take any breaks, just to clear your head or go to the toilet, that's all good with us as well. And if you need to ask any questions, just feel free to let us know, cut us off. Please, would love you to. So just to start, could we please confirm your full name?
Peter Schultz.
And your staff number?
Oh, I don't remember that one. I'll give it to you after, yeah?
That's fine, totally cool with us. And what's your role? What's your job title?
I'm a LAME, a licensed aviation mechanical engineer at Cape York Airways.
Okay, Thank you for that. Yeah, so we just need to ask those questions just to make sure we're interviewing the correct person, which we are. So at what time did the incident take place last night?
Well, probably when we were running the engine test, which would have been around nearly 4 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, yep. And you might not have had a watch on you, but how long did it take for emergency services to reach the site?
Well, after the incident, the first we called Charita, who was the King Air pilot. She called the local doctor at the mine site. I think his name's Dr. Roberts. And it probably would have been I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, something like that, perhaps a bit longer for him to get out there. But not that there was much that he could do. And then the emergency services arrived sometime later. Yeah, that would have been another hour or two later.
Okay, so I'm now going to be passing on to my colleague Jason. Jason?
Thanks, Alex. I'm Peter. Can you please explain what you were doing at the scene prior to the incident?
Yeah, so I went there originally from Cairns because Charita, one of our King Air pilots, had called up saying that she was having a problem. The left-hand bleed air warning light was on the aircraft and she couldn't clear it. So Isaac, another pilot, flew me out to Macarthur River to have a look. So then I got there probably, or maybe about 8:30 in the evening. So that's Sunday evening, 8:30ish. And I was working on the problem for a few hours, but I couldn't find anything wrong. And then I looked a bit closer at the warning system, and I found that the left-hand warning light had been connected to the right-hand bleed air system, and the right bleed air warning light had been connected to the left-hand system. So, I'm guessing that perhaps from previous maintenance, some idiot has gone and got the two crossed over. So I then had a look at the right-hand warning, the right-hand bleed air system, and I found a leak. But I didn't have the parts to fix it because you can't carry half an aircraft's worth of parts with you. You don't necessarily know what you're going to get. So I had to call back to Cairns, and Isaac flew out with some more parts, and also with Kelly, another maintenance engineer. She's not as experienced, but she's good. She puts up with me. So so the two of us were working on the bleed air system, and she would have arrived, I don't know, maybe about 2:30 in the morning, something like this. So we were trying to get it done as quickly as possible because the aircraft had to be back in Cairns by 6 a.m. It had another job to do. So we fixed the bleed air system, and then we had to run an engine test to make sure that everything is working correctly, and that's when the accident happened.
Okay, then. Okay. Did you see what happened to the Drexmine employee?
Yeah. So we were running the engine test, and so Teresa and Kelly were in the flight deck conducting the test, and I was outside near the nose of the aircraft, sort of looking back so I could see the flight deck and also observe the right engine, and just make sure it sounded okay and all that. So we were doing the engine test, so we had the engine running and the beacon light on and all that. Then I see a man walking across the apron. I now know his name was Simon, though I didn't know that at the time. He was sort of walking from my left to right across the apron. I hadn't seen him before. We hadn't seen anybody around up until that point. And then I saw that he was going to go behind the aircraft. So, I called out to him like, hey, no, stay away. But he didn't hear me. He had the headphones on. So well, at least I don't think he heard me because he didn't react or anything. So then I started to move towards him, and I got to around the right wingtip, and then I heard the engine power increase, which is normal for doing the testing of the bleed air system. You have to run the engine at idle power and check the pressures, and then you need to increase the power to sort of like a flight power setting to check that the pressures and everything are still okay. So anyway, I hear the power increase, and then I hear a bang, and Simon is on the ground. So I ran back to the flight deck and indicate for them to cut the engine, which they did. Then I ran back to Simon, but it was too late. He'd been hit.
That's unfortunate. What did you observe after the incident in terms of did you see anything in particular, or was it something that caught your eye? Was there anything else?
I went up to Simon, and I guess a few things. He was on the ground. He was wearing the high vis. That's partly why I saw him. But and then all of our tools and toolbox were strewn all over the apron. His headphones were there or smashed. And they're not like, they weren't like the normal like engineer headphones, for noise that the ground handlers and so on have. These were the headphones that the youngsters wear, to listen to their TikToks and things. So, maybe why he didn't hear me was because, maybe he was, listening away to, the Spice Girls or whatever.
All right. Okay. Peter, before we continue, you need a break, or are you happy to keep going?
I'm fine. I'm okay.
All right. I'll now pass it to my colleague, Saini.
Hi, Peter. So I'm Sana. My specialty is more in company procedures and manuals. So I'm going to be asking you a few questions in relation to that. Were there any company procedures or manuals not followed in the lead up to this event? It doesn't necessarily just have to be for that day. Have you noticed a decline in the staff following company procedures or manuals?
No, I mean, I think we did everything. I think we did everything right. We had the beacon lights going, and and if you have the staff, we had one person outside the aircraft to observe. We aren't always able to do that because sometimes you already have the one engineer there. But in this case, we had myself and Kelly, so I was able to be outside the aircraft to do that. So I think we did everything right. But it's number one rule on the apron is you don't walk behind an aircraft with the engines running and the beacon light on. You have to have rocks in your head to do that. So for Simon, I'm sorry for what happened to him. It's very sad, but he should not have been there. You just don't do that.
That's exactly right. Would you have any recommendations that you think we could adjust company procedures or manuals, or even any safety signage at sites? Or maybe do you think we could improve staff training at all? Just because you've got that first-hand experience, we're just wanting to get your recommendations.
The reality is that we operate to a lot of remote strips, and sometimes aircraft break, and you don't have the luxury of being in the hangar in Cairns. You have to do the work wherever the aircraft is. So you have to just do the best job that you can. We were fortunate at McCarver River that there is some lighting on the apron. I mean, it's not great. Don't get me wrong. It's not very good, but some places we don't even have that. I guess the only thing else I can think of is, you maybe talk to Drax Mining. They operate to the airport here at McCarver River, and my understanding is that Simon, he works at the airport. So, if they don't know the number one rule of the apron, not to walk behind the aircraft with the engines running and the beacon light on, well, maybe they need to sort out their training.
Exactly right. Yeah, we're definitely interviewing them as well. So that about concludes our questions today. We'd just like to thank you again for taking the time to assist us with the investigation. We understand that it wouldn't have been easy, and if you remember anything post this interview that you believe may be helpful to us, do not hesitate to contact me. You've got my email address and phone number. And also, if any of our questions or the event itself have affected your mental health, I have prepared a document for you with useful sources. You can find this document in the chat here, but I will also email it to you. If there's any fees include for these resources, we would be happy to cover them for you. Thank you again for your help, and we will keep you updated on our findings.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
You guys. It's better.
Thank you.
Take care.
No worries. Well done, guys. I'll leave the room now and see you next time.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.